All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about a feeling that, let's be honest, is probably super familiar to you. It's that feeling of being totally overwhelmed, completely distracted by, well, everything digital. Your brain just feels fried, right? So in this explainer, we're not just going to figure out why that's happening. We're going to give you an actual playbook on how to break free. So, quick question for you, and I want you to really, really think about it. What was the very first thing you looked at this morning? Like when you first opened your eyes? I'm willing to bet that for a whole lot of us, the answer is a screen. And that one tiny little action, well, it kicks off this massive chain reaction that basically sets the tone for your entire day. And we're about to break down exactly how that works. So, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll talk about something I like to call the morning hijack. Then we'll get into the science of it all with your brain in the box. After that, it's all about action with escaping the digital cage. And we'll wrap it all up with a really important one, reclaiming your attention. All right, section 1, the morning hijack. You're going to see how a super simple task turns into a total time vortex. I'm going to start with a story, and I would bet money that this exact thing has happened to you, probably even this week. This is how a totally innocent plan just goes completely sideways. You know the scene, right? It's, say, 7:15 a.m. The alarm is blaring, you're still half asleep, but you have this one simple mission in mind. Just one tiny little task you need your phone for. Something that should literally take 10 seconds, max. And that thought is something like, I just need to check the weather. Is it a jacket day or not? Or maybe it's, okay, I just need to see what time that first meeting is. So you grab your phone, you unlock it, and you've got this one single purpose. But then, bam, this is it. This is the exact moment the hijack starts. Your brain, which was on this one simple track, suddenly gets hit with a tidal wave. You see those little red dots, the banners sliding down from the top, the news alerts flashing. They're all just screaming at you, begging for your attention, right there next to the little weather app you were trying to open. And your sum, it's like it's not even connected to you anymore. It just moves on its own. It zips right past the weather app and taps on a notification for Instagram or your email or whatever. And you're telling yourself, oh, just for a second, I'll just see what this is. You think you're making a choice, but really, it's pure muscle memory reflex. And boom, just like that, you're sucked into the vortex. Time starts to do this weird melty thing. One second you're looking at your friend's vacation photos, the next you're watching some random funny video, and then suddenly you're reading the comments on some crazy political post. You can feel your heart rate kind of jump up. You go from annoyed to entertained to maybe a little anxious, but that thumb of yours, it just keeps scrolling. And then you finally snap out of it. You look up at the little clock in the corner of your screen. 30 minutes. 30 minutes have just vanished. Poof, gone. You haven't even gotten out of bed yet. Your day hasn't even started. And how do you feel in that moment? Not great, right? You feel kind of guilty, sluggish, and this weird kind of exhausted, even though you've done literally nothing. It's because you just forced your brain to jump between 100 different topics before it even had a chance to fully wake up. And that's when the thought hits you, the one that we all have all the time. Wait, what was I even doing? Oh, right, the weather. But it's too late. The damage is done. You're starting your day already behind in a mental and emotional hole. Okay, so listen up, because this is maybe the most important takeaway. This isn't you being weak. This is not a bad habit. This is a physiological hijacking. It's real. You feel fried because your brain, on a literal chemical level, is fried. Okay, section 2, your brain in the box. Let's pop the hood and see what's actually going on in there. Because to understand why even the strongest-willed people get totally owned by this little rectangle of glass, we need to dig into the science. We're talking biology, we're talking psychology, it's all connected. So here's the fundamental problem, right here on this slide. It's a total mismatch. Think of your brain's hardware. It's ancient. It was built for the savannah, a place where information was scarce, and noticing something new could literally be the difference between life and death. But the software we're running on it, that's built by Silicon Valley. It's designed for information overload. It's basically brand new, superpowered software that's designed to exploit our old, outdated hardware. So back on the savannah, if you heard a rustle in the bushes, you had to pay attention. It could be a tiger, or it could be lunch. You couldn't just ignore it. Well, guess what? Every single notification on your phone is a digital rustle in the bushes. Your ancient brain just screams, look, this could be important. But it's not a tiger. It's just a like on a photo. And your brain doesn't know the difference. It treats every one of these tiny, meaningless alerts like a potential life or death situation. No wonder we're all exhausted. And this is where it gets a little dark. Because this weakness in our brain's wiring, it's not just an accident that our phones exploit it. It's being intentionally weaponized. They use this incredibly powerful psychological trick called intermittent reinforcement. This whole idea comes from a psychologist named B.F. Skinner, and if you understand this one concept, you understand pretty much everything about digital addiction. Okay, so Skinner built this thing called a Skinner box. He puts a rat inside with a lever. Now, if the rat presses the lever and gets a food pellet every single time, it eventually gets bored and wanders off. But, and here's the kicker, if the food pellet only comes out sometimes, randomly, unpredictably, the rat goes absolutely nuts. It will just sit there and press that lever over and over and over again. It becomes obsessed. And that brings us to the big, kind of scary idea of this whole thing. Your smartphone is the most perfect, most effective, most sophisticated Skinner box ever created in human history. I mean, look at this breakdown. The comparison is just perfect. The lever the rat presses, that's you, pulling down on your screen to refresh your feed. The unpredictable reward, it's not a food pellet. It's what might show up. Will it be something boring, a hilarious meme, an amazing photo, a message from someone you like? It's that maybe. That's the drug. And it creates this dopamine loop in your brain that is almost impossible to break just by trying harder. Okay, so that's the bad news. So what's the good news? How do we get out of this digital cage? Look, the answer isn't to go live in a cave and throw your phone away. The goal is to turn it from your master back into your tool. So let's get into 3 concrete, actionable steps you can take to reclaim your mind. So we've got 3 protocols we're going to walk through. Step 1 is the friction protocol. That's all about breaking your autopilot. Step 2 is the information diet. You gotta control what you're feeding your brain. And step 3 is the recharge protocol. And that's where we learn to actually embrace being bored. All right, let's dive into step 1, the friction protocol. The goal here is simple. Disrupt your autopilot. Because right now, grabbing your phone isn't really a decision, is it? It's just a reflex. So to break that, we just need to add a little friction. We need to create a tiny bit of space between the impulse to grab it and the action of actually grabbing it. That's it. Just a little pause. And check out how simple this can be. Okay, before, your phone's in your right pocket, where it always is. Your hand just automatically goes there. You don't even think about it. Now the after, just move your phone to your left pocket. That's it. Now your hand goes to the right pocket and, whoa, there's nothing there. That split second of confusion, of grabbing air, that's the friction. That's often all it takes to snap you out of the trance and make you think, wait a minute, what am I doing? Okay, on to step 2, the information diet. This one is huge. The idea is so simple. You have to start treating the information you consume just like the food you eat. I mean, you wouldn't just eat candy and chips all day and expect to feel great, would you? Well, right now, most of us are feeding our brains a non-stop diet of digital junk food. And the key thing to realize is that you don't need more information, you need better information. So here's a little exercise for you. I call it the ruthless purge. Seriously, just take 15 minutes today, go through everything you follow, and ask yourself this one question. Does this inspire me or does it drain me? If it drains you, it's gone. Unsubscribe from all those email newsletters you delete without reading. Unfollow the accounts that just exist to make you mad. And here's the biggest one. Turn off all notifications that don't come from a real human being. An app doesn't need you. A person does. And this is what we're aiming for. This is what a healthy information diet looks like. You see, the vast majority of what you consume should either inspire you or educate you. Then you've got a smaller slice for connecting with actual people. And that little tiny sliver for stuff that drains you, we want to get that as close to 0 as possible. All right, now for the third and final step, the recharge protocol. And I'm going to be honest, this one is probably the hardest. It's all about embracing boredom. And we have been trained our entire lives to be terrified of being bored. The second we have a moment of downtime, we reach for the phone to fill it. But here's the big secret. Boredom isn't a problem to be solved. It's a feature of being human. It's actually essential for our brains. Think about it. If your brain is constantly taking in new information, just input, 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 when does it ever get a chance to process anything, to make connections, to have its own thoughts? That's what boredom is. It's your brain's output mode. It's why all the best ideas pop into your head in the shower. So here's the challenge. I call it the nothing walk. The rules are simple. You go for a walk,
No headphones, no podcasts, no phone calls. Just you. And look, the first few times you do this, it's going to feel weird. Your brain is going to scream at you for something to do. But I promise you, if you stick with it, you'll discover that 20 minutes of doing nothing is more restorative than 2 hours of scrolling. It's like letting your brain run a disk defrag.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. Section 4, reclaiming your attention. We've talked about the problem, the science, the solutions, but now we need to talk about the one thing you have that the algorithms will never, ever have. You have a secret weapon. And I really need you to hear this. This might be the most important thing I say. If you've been feeling this way, distracted, fried, overwhelmed, it is not your fault. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are a human, and you're trying to operate in an environment that was specifically designed to be hostile to your brain. You're in a fight with supercomputers that are way faster than you, but you have one thing they don't, one massive advantage, and that is consciousness. It's the ability to simply notice what you're doing while you're doing it. And that consciousness gives you the power to ask one simple life-changing question. Right in that moment, as your thumb is about to tap that app, you can just stop and ask yourself, is this what I want right now? That single question, that's your superpower. That's the escape hatch from the whole system. So this isn't about being perfect. It's about awareness. It's about realizing you're the rat in the box and then choosing to stop pressing the lever. It's about noticing the cage you're in and then consciously deciding to step outside of it. So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought. Your attention is the most valuable currency you own. It's more valuable than your money, and you have a limited supply of it every day. Every time you scroll mindlessly, you're just handing it over for free to companies who turn around and sell it. Stop giving it away. It's time to reclaim it and start spending it on the things that actually matter to you.